The Forum of National Youth Leaders of Political Parties in Nigeria has issued an ultimatum asking South African nationals residing in Nigeria to leave the country by the end of July 2026. The group says the move follows renewed concerns over reported attacks on Nigerians and other Africans in South Africa, which it describes as Afrophobia rather than xenophobia.
We are here today as the youth of this country to express our displeasure and to also express our dissatisfaction on how the government of South Africa have handled this matter. We, the young people of Nigeria, are not happy for what South Africa is doing. And we are here to also declare that from today, the first day of July 2026, to the end of July 2026, we would want the South Africans in Nigeria to also leave. They should go back to their country and also take over the businesses, the work that Nigerians have taken over from them. We believe in the unionism of Africa. We believe in the solidarity of Africa. We are peaceful and we are law-abiding. But we must tell the South Africans that nobody is a custodian of violence.
At a press conference in Abuja, the forum condemned what it called recurring attacks on Nigerians, accusing the South African government of failing to protect foreign African nationals. He says Nigerians continue to face harassment, intimidation, and threats in South Africa, despite long-standing diplomatic relations between both countries.
We will not be traveling to South Africa, our fellow African country, looking for greener pasture, if our leaders had fixed this country and provided opportunity for young people. What are they doing in South Africa that we cannot do in Nigeria? What sort of technology, infrastructure? What sort of manpower? We are the one powering the economy. It is because we do not have the enabling environment here in Nigeria for our young people to express themselves, for businesses to thrive. That's why you see our people running.
The youth leaders also recalled Nigeria's historical support for South Africa during the anti-apartheid struggle, including backing the United Nations and contributions through relief funds and the Mandela tax. They argue that those sacrifices reflect Nigeria's commitment to African solidarity.
I know under clear authority that Nigerians, those legal and illegal migrants, as they say, were even trying to sell their properties to come back home. South Africans refused to buy. They refused to airlift Nigerians with their flights. It took only Air Peace to be able to go. How many aircraft does Air Peace have to be going back and forth? No problem. If they do that, they should not forget that they have MTN in Nigeria. They should not forget that they have mining licenses in Nigeria. And from now onward, we are going to be speaking directly to the Minister for Soil Minerals, Minister for Mines. We will make sure their licenses are being seized and revoked from them.
The forum warned that South Africans living in Nigeria have until the end of July to leave the country, saying patience among Nigerian youths is wearing thin over continued attacks on Nigerians.
I intend to repeat any of the statements that have been made very eloquently by all of those who have spoken. And my point is not only informed by the fact that we were all contributors to the struggle against apartheid. I remember very well that it was because of the struggle against apartheid that a Nigerian president, then head of state, Murtala Mohammed, declared before the Americans that Henry Kissinger, who was Secretary of State, was not welcome to Nigeria. In the words of General Murtala Mohammed, he said the era of gunboat diplomacy was over. Nigeria's commitment to eradication of apartheid is not negotiable. And they proceeded to nationalize British petroleum because the British too were supporting apartheid. So I can understand the pain that where we have built relationship, today we are looked at as if we are a burden. But for me, sir, I didn't come to the Senate to lament what is not right. And I know that in diplomacy, there is the law of reciprocity. What are the issues in South Africa? The president of South Africa did campaign openly that foreigners were taking the jobs that South African people could do. That is why his hands and his legs are tied. What is my response? These Nigerians who are in South Africa, they are not there on holiday. They are there to work and to earn. And which kind of job are they doing? There are two categories.
Thank you, Senator Aliru.
My name is Madabuchuku John Okeke from John Okeke from Anambra State, Oxigoroka government.
Where were you based in South Africa?
I based in Johannesburg, Joburg South, Tarfantin.
So, Sandwich, are you happy to be back in Nigeria?
Yeah, I'm very happy because a lot have been going there. I'm very, very happy to come back with my life because a lot of people that will go through this process, some of them couldn't make it. Some passed away yesterday. 2 were killed yesterday. One was killed in Pretoria, one was killed in Jamestown because of all this Abraham. Yeah, so I'm really happy to come back with my life.
Sorry, how long have you been?
I've been in South Africa for over 7 years. Since 2019, February 25.
Okay, do you have the necessary papers, documents to be in South Africa?
Yes, I have my passport is valid. The ASRAM, I have ASRAM bed. Before we travel, we have to cancel the ASRAM by Home Affairs before they can process your TC.
Now, when you were in South Africa during this whole saga, were you under any kind of threat, and what?
A lot of threats. Even where I'm staying, you can't sleep with 2 eyes closed. You can't sleep with 2 eyes closed. You can't walk by the street. When you're walking by the street, you have to be looking at your back in case. And those police people and use that thing to make it like they open a business for them. Because even when they show you, even when you show them your document, they still want money from you. So I would say there is a lot of threat, and government are not doing anything. Their government are not doing anything. about it. Some people who walk through this process. One of us passed away yesterday because of this process. They was hitting the guy with their stick, and the guy passed away yesterday night. And also on Nigerian embassy, one guy was also robbed there, and they couldn't do anything. And policemen were parking there, they couldn't do anything for that. So I'm very happy to come back with my life.
Right now, I feel relieved that I'm back home because actually I've spent about 14 years in South Africa without being, without being in Nigeria for so long. So I've spent about 14 years in South Africa. So right now that I found this opportunity to come back home, I think I'm happy, I'm relieved, I'm safe also. I'm back home here, to start over again, because actually what happened to me in South Africa is terrible. Like what I'm trying to say is that I can't explain everything because, what I'm trying to say is that it's too much for me. The first attack I had with South African citizens was about 9 years ago. They destroyed my shop, they burned my properties. Then I have to start over again. Then after some years, about 5 years, they still came back again and burned everything down. They really attacked me, they beat me up. Then what happened that year, it was terrible for me. I have to run for my life. I have to change the province that I was staying. Then I have to relocate somewhere else. Still, they were still chasing us. They said that we Nigerians, we must go back. I've been to South Africa. I've been staying there for about 14 years. I was doing my business, legit business. I was doing an electrical job. I repair phones and I sell phone accessories. I've never committed any offense in South Africa. What I'm trying to say is that, even the police, they know that, because when I went to police station to do fingerprints, they couldn't find any problem with me. Understand what I'm trying to say? So, which means that I have never committed any crime in South Africa. But they keep chasing us Nigerians. They say that we must go back home. I don't know the reason why.
If you go through back or front, they are not giving issuing papers now. So it's just kind of a xenophobic, diplomatic xenophobia. How can you deny giving people permit, and on the street you call them illegal immigrants? Not that they don't want the permits, not that they don't want the papers. They want every foreigner here in South Africa want papers. They want to be documented. They want to be legit here in the country. The problem is that the Home Affairs have refused to issue them, to document them. And when you document them, you less crime. You understand? When you document them, you create value, like you create more business opportunities, because some of them will stand here with their full feet on the ground, at least to have confidence and open up businesses. And that businesses will generate revenue. You understand? And generate revenue to the country, and they employ workers from the same country. But when you refuse to give them, majority of the businesses here in South Africa are owned by foreigners. So when you refuse to give them, renew their papers, how do you want them to operate? In the banks, when you have a business account in the bank and your permit expires, automatically that business account, they will close it. How can you operate a business here when without your business account? If you go to bank, the bank will tell you, go and renew your paper at the Home Affairs. You go to Home Affairs, they are not renewing your papers. The bank will not have any choice than to close that account. And at that point you are frustrated. And at that point you are frustrated. Imagine you have some thousands of funds in your account. You have some money in your account you are using to run your business, and they close that account. How are you going to get your money back? And you have workers you have employed who are South Africans, you are paying them. It's frustrating. It's quite frustrating. So their government need to look into it. You understand? And handle things the best.